This is Barry Zalma speaking for Claim School Incorporated's newsletter, Zalma's Insurance Fraud Letter for May 15, 2025. This issue, Volume 29, Issue 10, is the source for the insurance fraud professional. Zalma's Insurance Fraud Letter, ZIFL, continues its 29th year of publication, dedicated to those involved in reducing the effect of insurance fraud. ZIFL is published 24 times a year by Claim School and is written by me. It is provided free to anyone who visits the site, provided in the blog link. You can read the full issue of the May 15, 2025 20-page issue at the link provided in Adobe PDF format. This issue contains the following articles about insurance fraud. First, healthcare fraud trial that resulted in murder for hire of a witness, and when, to avoid conviction for insurance fraud, the defendants murdered the key witness in a case entitled United States of America versus Louis A.G., Stanton, Guillory, Louis H. III, and Ronald Wilson, Jr. You can read the full article at the link provided in the Adobe PDF format. Next is an article entitled Insurance Fraud is a Violent Crime, where murder for insurance proceeds resulted in life in prison for the murderer, because it is just not nice to break your wife's neck to collect her life insurance, so you get life in prison. Insurance fraudster and murderer Kenneth Russell Moyer appealed the trial court's denial of his petition for resentencing under Penal Code Section 1172.6. Moyer took issue with the jury's conclusion he was a beneficiary on his wife's insurance policy, his counsel's failure to properly litigate the issue at his first trial, and argued his appellate counsel's conclusion that he is ineligible for relief constituted ineffective assistance of counsel. You can read the full article and the full issue at the link provided. Then, of course, there is the health insurance fraud convictions from across the country, starting with an article about a Texas insurance fraudster who was given a prison sentence and a $350,000 fine. Mayela Sabi Cantu was sentenced by a federal judge because the McAllen, Texas woman reportedly helped commit property and title fraud schemes to 24 months in prison and 3 years of supervised release. Chief U.S. District Judge Randy Crane also ordered Cantu to pay $350,000 in restitution. You can read this article and about dozens of other convictions and the full 20-page issue of ZIFL at the link provided. Next is an article about the fact that insurance fraudsters are not nice people. They are criminals, and lawyers who attempted to protect the assets of their clients were charged with insurance fraud from seizure by state, and it failed. In People versus David M. Brown et al., the California Court of Appeals 2nd District found criminal defense lawyers to be in contempt for violating a temporary restraining order. Then there's an article for fraud investigators entitled Before the Interview Begins, because every professional interviewer knows that the art of the interview cannot be learned exclusively from the printed word. Conversely, experience alone without the knowledge and application of general principles is no assurance of an interviewer's professional development. The adept professional must not only know what these principles are, but how and when to apply them. Even the simplest technique will occasionally succeed. If the interviewer is to succeed in finding insurance fraud, he or she must know the necessary background investigation, possess a thoroughly prepared attitude, and above all, have a plan. You can read the full article at the link provided. That is an article about continuing the saga of McClenny, Mosley, and Associates and its problems with the federal courts in the state of Louisiana. This article includes its involvement with and the investigation of the FBI New Orleans Division, which is actively investigating the law firm for alleged fraud related to hurricane litigation, primarily targeting southeastern Louisiana homeowners after Hurricane Ida in 2021. You can read the full article in the full 20-page issue of ZIFL at the link provided. Then there's an article from our colleague Stephen Badger of Zell LLP about attorney Eric Dick, where Mr. Badger reported on LinkedIn that, quote, another lawsuit has been filed against Eric Dick by one of his homeowner's clients. This lawsuit alleged legal malpractice, breach of fiduciary duty, and fraud. You can read the full article and the full issue of ZIFL at the link provided. Next is an article of convictions of other than health insurance fraud, starting with the story of a New Jersey woman sentenced to prison for forced labor and other federal crimes, where Bolaji Bolarino, 51, of Morristown, New Jersey, previously was found guilty of 2 counts of forced labor, 1 count of alien harboring for financial gain, and 2 counts of document servitude following a 2-week trial. You can read the full article about this modern-day slavery at the link provided. Then there is an article about disaster fraud schemes. Since the wildfires that struck Los Angeles this year, homeowners and business people and their insurers will face attempts to defraud the public, who the victims of the fires and their insurers face attempts of fraud, including the following forms of fraud generally attempted after the catastrophe: false or exaggerated claims by policyholders, claims made by people who did not have property in the area of hurricane damage, misclassification of flood damage as wind, fire, or theft, claims filed by individuals residing hundreds of miles outside the disaster zone, bid rigging by contractors falsely inflating the cost of repairs, contractors requiring upfront payment for services that failing to perform the agreed-upon repairs, unlicensed public adjusters making promises they could not fulfill, and charity fraud schemes designed to misappropriate funds donated for disaster relief. You can read the full article in the full issue of the law provided. Then there's an article on the tort of bad faith and insurance fraud. The logarithmic growth of insurance fraud in the state of California and other states have allowed tort damages for bad faith breach of insurance contracts that may be directly traced in part to the judicial creation of the tort of bad faith. You can read the full article in PDF format at the site provided and the link provided in the blog post. Thank you for your attention, and if you are interested, please sign up for my blog. It's free, and you'll gain notice of every blog posting, including at least 5, sometimes 6 a week, and also notice of this newsletter, which is also available for free. If you're interested in further detail, please consider, for a very small fee, subscribing to my Substack publications. Please tell your friends and colleagues about this blog and this newsletter so that they too can subscribe. Thank you for your attention.